Years ago, in school days, I wandered into the open church of St. Peter's, which wasn't far from our school, and still trying to find confirmation of the true faith, and wanting a word, I happened to come across a CTS pamphlet at the back of the church. It was about the saint of this day, Thomas Aquinas, and on the front cover was a picture. The tabernacle was there, and the dove of the Holy Spirit was above it, and there was a caption, Bene scripsisti de me, Thoma. You have written well of me, Thomas. And there is a more explicit form in which, specifically with regard to the Blessed Sacrament, he wanted a word of confirmation, and he was given this, you have written well of the sacrament of my body. Now, Thomas Aquinas is a perfect example of a contemplative who, as he himself analyzed, was able to give light as well as just be a light, give heat as well as just being hot. Contemplari et contemplat aliis tradiere, to contemplate and to hand on the contemplated things to others. Thus, he was able to be aware that in his case, he could justly remain a presbyter and not accept, as they wanted more than once, about 3 times actually, to be ordained a bishop. For he had a specific call within the church, the word to be caught and transmitted, and we still have it to this day. And it is a word that links up with the word even vaguely perceived in pre-Christian times, for he claimed all truth, and he saw that scientific knowledge all belonged to the same logos, and therefore he was able to use the logical patterns of old, for logic is given by God. The mechanism of discovering and analyzing all the dynamics of the unchanging truth. Thus, he used the thought patterns of Aristotle, whom he just calls the Philosophus. And in the early stages of the Dominican order, for which he opted, we have other similar great minds. Albert the Great, the universal teacher. We have the whole ambit of Peter Lombard. We have this ambit of scholasticism. We have this discovery of the power of the written word. And that written word is carefully chiseled in his Eucharistic hymns, in which every sentence is a theological gem. Specifically with regard to the Blessed Sacrament, he was able to see logically certain things leading to certain conclusions. For instance, he saw how there was a whole panoply of protection for the greatest gift that the Church has. Only things that are consecrated are able to touch the consecrated. And in one of the hymns that we sing at Corpus Christi, which of course came from his pen, the whole of that feast, the chants and the prayers that we use come from his pen. We have the reminder that solis presbyteris, only to the priests was it given to confect and to hand on. Therefore, there was this element of being aware that the rights of God are there and cannot be tampered with. What is happening in our time is that people are coming without theological preparation into the most sacred area of all on earth, and fully unaware are doing easily and glibly what in the minds of these great contemplatives and saints and doctors of the Church could be seen to be belonging to the angelic world, and therefore certain souls were taken out of society and called to be on the part of the angels, being conferred power and authority and sacrality which actually even the angels themselves do not have. And therefore we see why the Vatican reacted in 1997 in publishing the great interdicasterial declaration on the participation of the non-ordained in elements of the priestly vocation. It was a reminder that extraordinary meant extraordinary. We know that the devil pushed hard in the years following the Second Vatican Council to widen all the possible loopholes as part of a great dismantling operation and an attack on the sacred and on the God whom hell hates with a perfect hatred. Corpus natum de Maria Virgine, vere falsum immolatum in cruce promine, cuius natus perforatum fluxit aqua et